You're not gonna believe this one. Johnny Depp has just dropped a bombshell involving Meghan Markle, and the ripples have reached all the way to Buckingham Palace. Yeah, you heard that right. If you've been following all the drama around Depp, Meghan, and the royal family lately, you probably feel like every week there's a new twist. And honestly, you're not the only one thinking, what even is going on anymore? But this time, it's not just gossip. It's serious enough that insiders are saying the palace might actually be on the brink of crisis. So in today's video, we're breaking it all down. I'll walk you through exactly what Johnny Depp said, how Meghan's camp has reacted, and why the royal family is suddenly in full-on panic mode. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. No drama overload, no tabloid confusion. Just clear facts explained like we're chatting over coffee, and stay with me until the end, because there's one twist in this story that almost no one saw coming. Alright, let's dive in. So let's start from the top. What exactly did Johnny Depp say? Apparently, in a recent interview and some private comments that got leaked, Depp made a pretty bold statement involving Meghan Markle. He hinted at some behind-the-scenes truths about how the royal family really operates, and how Meghan was treated after she joined the firm. Now, we've heard similar rumors before. But what makes this different is that it's Johnny Depp saying it, someone who knows firsthand what it's like to be at the center of a global media circus. And when a Hollywood heavyweight like him speaks up, people listen. Some reports claim Depp suggested that Meghan's experiences inside the royal circle might have been even worse than what the public knows. That's huge because it feeds into an ongoing narrative, one that's been dividing royal fans for years. Think of it like a friend suddenly dropping a bomb in your group chat. Everyone's staring at their phones trying to figure out who to believe, what's real, and what's just another rumor. That's kind of where the world is right now with this story. Now let's talk about Meghan's side of things. Because, of course, when something this big drops, people immediately want to know, what does Meghan have to say? Her team has been careful. There's been no wild public rant or angry statement. Some sources say she's aware of Depp's comments, but she's choosing not to engage publicly, at least not yet. And that's the thing about Meghan. She's strategic. She doesn't always respond right away, but that doesn't mean she's not planning something behind the scenes. When you think about it, silence can be a powerful move. Especially when you know the world is waiting for your reaction. And honestly, it's smart. Because if she claps back too fast, the media calls her emotional. If she stays quiet, they say she's hiding something. It's like a no-win situation. So sometimes, staying calm and saying nothing is the loudest response of all, but let's be real, no matter what Meghan says or doesn't say, the ripples always reach the palace. Because when a major star like Johnny Depp throws shade or reveals something about the royals, it's not just gossip. It's a potential PR nightmare. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Because Buckingham Palace, according to several insiders, is not taking this lightly. Apparently, there have already been private discussions about how to handle the fallout, whether to issue a quiet clarification, push a new positive story about the royals, or just ride out the storm. You see, image control is everything for the royal family. Every photo, every statement, every handshake, it's all carefully planned to protect the brand. So when something unpredictable like this happens, it throws everything off balance. It's kind of like when a big company suddenly faces a scandal. You can almost picture the emergency meetings. People around a table asking, okay, how bad is this? What can we do to fix it? Who do we call first? That's reportedly what's happening right now at the palace. They're in damage control mode, and it's not just because of what Depp said. It's because of what it represents. A reminder that the palace can't always control the narrative, especially when it comes to Meghan. Now let's go over the timeline real quick so it all makes sense. First, Depp makes his comments. Part interview, part rumor, part whispered, "Did you hear?" Moments that spread fast online. Then Meghan's team notices the media frenzy but keeps things quiet. No direct responses, just monitoring the chatter. Next, people inside the palace start getting nervous. Some advisors are reportedly worried this could reignite old conversations about racism, favoritism, and the so-called royal machine. That's the stuff they've been trying to move past for years. Meanwhile, social media goes wild. Fans pick sides. Some say Depp's just trying to stir things up. Others believe he's speaking truth that no one else dares to say. And of course the memes start flying, because no celebrity scandal is complete without them. So that's the chain of events. Depp speaks, Meghan observes, the palace panics, and the internet explodes. Classic modern-day celebrity cycle, right? But let's slow down for a second. Because there are a few misconceptions flying around that need to be cleared up. First, no, this isn't just a publicity stunt. Sure, headlines sell, but the emotional toll and legal risks involved in these kinds of stories are real. If this were staged, it'd be a dangerous game for everyone involved. Second, just because Depp said it doesn't automatically make it true. The man's been through his own share of controversies, and like any public figure, he's got supporters and critics. Every statement needs to be backed up with facts. And third, Meghan's silence? That's not weakness. That's restraint. It's knowing when to engage and when to let noise burn itself out. Some of the most powerful moves in media are made in silence. So now that we've cleared that up, let's dig a bit deeper. Because there's more to this than just gossip. There are legal and strategic angles that most people overlook. Here's a detail many miss. Whenever a celebrity makes a claim that could damage someone's reputation, it can cross into defamation territory. That's not just PR trouble, that's legal trouble. And that means Meghan's team could have every right to respond not just through press statements, but in court if they wanted to. And don't forget how the palace works. Sometimes when the royals want to send a message, they don't do it through official statements. They leak it, quietly, strategically. They'll float a piece of information to the media to see how people react before deciding their next move. So if you start seeing new royal headlines suddenly praising Meghan or emphasizing unity in the family, don't be surprised. It might be part of a bigger plan to shift attention away from this mess. There's even been talk among royal watchers about how this could be a kind of test, a pressure test for the palace. If they respond too aggressively, it looks like they're hiding something. If they do nothing, people think they're scared. It's a delicate balance, and here's something interesting. Someone close to Meghan once said, "She reads every line, she weighs every word." That tells you everything you need to know about her. She's not impulsive. She's calculated. She knows the game, and she knows how to play it. So you can bet that whatever happens next, her move will be carefully planned. Maybe she's preparing a statement. Maybe she's saving her response for a future interview or project. She's not the type to let something like this slide completely under the radar. Now let's talk about what's coming next, because the story's far from over. We might see Depp speak again, maybe in another interview or public appearance. He's known for being bold, and once he started something, he usually doesn't back down easily. On the other hand, Meghan's next move could genuinely surprise everyone. She's not the type to act impulsively. Every decision she makes is usually strategic, thoughtful, even calculated. There's been talk for months that she's working quietly on a series of new media projects, and if that's true, this situation might give her the perfect opportunity to control her own narrative again. Some insiders have whispered about possible documentaries in development, maybe focusing on resilience, public image, or how women in power are portrayed by the media. It wouldn't be shocking if some of those themes were inspired by her own experiences. And knowing Meghan, she's probably been shaping her message for months, waiting for just the right time to release something that feels both powerful and personal. Others say she's also been exploring book deals. Imagine it, a memoir that digs deeper than the interviews, one that goes beyond the surface and talks about what really happened behind palace walls. It could easily become one of the biggest publishing events of the decade. Publishers already know anything with Meghan's name on it will sell out instantly. And if she uses that platform to respond, even subtly, to the latest controversy, it would completely flip the narrative. But Meghan doesn't always play by predictable rules. Instead of coming out swinging, she might take the softer route, addressing themes of truth, identity, or forgiveness without naming names. That's the kind of move that earns sympathy and power at the same time. It lets her speak her truth, but still appear composed and graceful. And then, of course, we have Buckingham Palace, the other major player in this ongoing royal chess game. The palace has survived decades of scandal, rumors, and controversies. They know how to weather storms like this, and they almost never respond directly. Instead, they let the firm, as insiders call it, work its quiet magic. They have their official communication channels, sure, press statements, spokespersons, and royal events. But what most people don't realize is how subtly they influence public opinion behind the scenes. A single photo can shift headlines. A simple public appearance can make controversy vanish overnight. Let's say Meghan's getting too much positive press after Depp's comments. The palace might respond with a few well-timed photo ops, maybe King Charles visiting a children's hospital or Catherine and William launching a charity initiative. Those images flood the media, crowding out everything else. Suddenly, instead of talking about Depp and Meghan, the headlines are all about the hard-working royals and the king's compassion. That's how royal PR works. Calm, quiet, but incredibly effective. It's not just about what they say, but what they show. Every smile, every outfit, every handshake carries meaning. It's like their own language, a system of coded gestures that tells the public, everything is fine. The monarchy is strong. Don't worry about the noise. And it's not just the photos. Sometimes they'll release a statement that seems harmless, like a thank you to supporters, but the wording is chosen carefully. A single phrase like, "The royal family continues to focus on their duties with dignity and discretion," can be a subtle jab, a reminder that while others seek the spotlight, the palace remains above the drama. It's a strategy built on patience. They wait, they observe, and then they move when the timing is right. That's how they've survived generations of crises, from abdications to divorces to public scandals. So, in the next few weeks, don't be surprised if you start noticing these little signs. Maybe Meghan steps out in California with a confident smile, looking unbothered and radiant. Maybe she releases a project teaser with messages about empowerment and truth. At the same time, you might see the royal family ramp up their charitable work or make a few high-profile appearances that send their own quiet message. Watch for the patterns, because in royal PR, nothing happens by accident. The outfits, the timing, the location, it's all deliberate. Meghan's team and the palace's team both know the power of image. They're playing the same game, just on different boards. This next phase of the story won't be loud, it'll be subtle. A look here, a headline there, maybe even a shift in how the press frames each person. These coded actions, these silent statements, they're all part of a bigger narrative battle. And honestly, that's what makes it fascinating. It's not just about who's right or wrong, it's about influence, control, and how both sides, Meghan and the monarchy, are shaping the story the world will remember. So as this unfolds, pay attention not only to what's said, but to what's shown. Because sometimes the quietest moments say the most. It's almost like watching a high-stakes chess game. Every move means something. So yeah, we've covered a lot. Depp's shocking claims, Meghan's quiet strategy, the palace's scramble, and the possible next moves. But here's where it gets really fascinating. What does this all mean in the bigger picture? It shows just how fragile celebrity reputations can be. One sentence, one rumor, one offhand comment. And suddenly, entire institutions have to react. For Johnny Depp, this might be a way to express frustration with media manipulation. For Meghan, it's a reminder that her name still holds power, and that people will always want to control her story. And for the palace, it's another lesson. That no matter how much tradition you have, public opinion can shift overnight. It's kind of ironic, isn't it? The monarchy, built on centuries of control and privacy, constantly being undone by the chaos of modern media, and right in the middle of it, a Hollywood actor and an American duchess. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question. What do you think about Johnny Depp's bombshell? Do you believe there's truth behind his claims, or do you think it's just another case of celebrity overreach? And what about Meghan's silence? Smart strategy or missed opportunity? I'd really love to know what you think, so drop your thoughts down in the comments. I read through a lot of them, and it's always interesting to see the mix of opinions. And hey, if you've enjoyed this breakdown and want to understand even more about royal drama, check out my next video. Prince Harry versus Buckingham Palace, the battle continues. It ties perfectly into what we've talked about today, and trust me, it goes even deeper. Before you go, don't forget to hit that like button if you found this video helpful or even just entertaining. It really helps the channel grow. And of course, if you're new here, hit subscribe and turn on notifications. I post every week, and I promise to keep you updated with all the latest stories without the confusion or clickbait. Alright, that's it for today's episode. Thanks for hanging out with me and sticking through all the twists and turns. This story is still developing, and as always, I'll keep watching, researching, and bringing you the truth behind the headlines. Until next time, stay curious, stay kind, and don't believe everything you read unless you hear it here first.